Former First Lady of the United States, Rosalind Carter, tells us that there are only 4 kinds of people in the world. Those who have been caregivers, those who are currently caregivers, those who will be caregivers, and those who will need caregivers. I watched my mother take care of my father for the last 7 years of his life. 7 long, exhausting years of caring for his needs after he had experienced a devastating heart attack and then a debilitating stroke that left him speechless, paralyzed, and unable to physically care for himself. She was an amazing caregiver. She moved about her day always with my father's needs present in her mind, foremost in her mind. She literally moved them from the harsh winters of the Midwest to the state of Florida. I hardly ever worried about him. I worried about her. I knew that like a newborn baby, my father was receiving her full attention and great care, and she was suffering in silence. She was willing to set aside all of her own needs and care for him, a valiant model of caregiving. And when he left this earth and we were preparing to go to his funeral, she turned to me bewilderedly and said, "What do I do now?" Many of you sitting here this morning have the ability to relate to that question. You've lovingly cared for someone, and after your care was no longer needed, you felt lost, maybe even a little bit guilty. For 3 weeks in September, I asked you to reach out and care about several marginalized groups of people. Today, I'm asking you to care for yourself. Anyone who's ever flown on a plane has heard the safety message given from the airline personnel informing you that in case the oxygen masks fall down over your head, adults are instructed to put on their own mask first and then assist children. Now, I always thought that was a rather callous, unusual statement. Why wouldn't we take care of the kids first? Why should we help ourselves first? Well, as I've gotten older, I've realized that without oxygen, I would pass out, and I would not be able to assist anybody, let alone a child. If the child struggled or resisted my efforts to put on the mask and I didn't have one on, then we'd both pass out. However, if I am equipped with a mask first, I'm in much better shape to assist a child or anyone else who needs help. What a beautiful metaphor for any caregiver. Take care of yourself first so that you can then serve others. Now let's play devil's advocate for just a moment and ask, well, why should we take care of ourselves? Because if we don't, we will burn out. And if we burn out, then those who need our assistance are lost. Those who rely on us will suffer. Dr. Edward Cregan from the Mayo Clinic clearly defines burnout with these words. He says, burnout is an erosion of the soul caused by a deterioration of one's values, dignity, spirit, and will. That is a powerful sentence. When we are burned out, part of our soul has eroded away. So let's do what we can to avoid that. Many of us in this room are caring or have cared for people, our children, our parents, other family members, individuals with chronic illnesses or special needs. And the immediate thing I need to say to you is thank you. Kudos to you for taking on this mountainous commitment. The work is endless, it is thankless, it is completely exhausting. We go on little sleep, we worry, we ignore our own needs, we fall behind on other tasks, we walk around in a fog much of the time. And every now and then, we hit a wall We feel overwhelmed and stressed. We can't imagine the next moment or the next day. It is all completely understandable. There has to be a better way to do this, and of course there is. It is putting on our own mask. It is developing better self-care. In an article entitled Caregiving 101 on Being a Caregiver, licensed clinical social worker Donna Shemp offers a list of guiding statements for anyone who is functioning as a caregiver, and I want to focus on 3 of the items on her list this morning. The first is, you cannot be perfect. All of my perfectionist friends out there, this is tough for us. As much as we may try, we're going to mess things up when we are taking care of somebody. It is difficult to accept, but we're not going to be perfect at this task. I would also add to that, go easy on yourself. Just do the best you can with what you have, where you are. Those are powerful words for any life circumstance. Do the best you can with what you have, where you are. Depression is the most common emotion of long-term caregivers. The fatigue that accompanies the task of caregiving is going to make us sad from time to time. The condition of our person is going to make us sad from time to time. Feeling trapped and overwhelmed as we care for our person will make us sad from time to time. As a result, we must learn to say no, and we must learn to accept help. We can help ourselves best by allowing others to help us, and by saying no from time to time. We can't do everything, Nancy. We can't do everything. We just can't. John Donne wrote that beautiful statement, no man is an island, which I would politically correctly update to no person is an island. We can't do it alone. When other people offer to help us, they aren't giving us empty words. They're not just saying that. Rejecting their offer of help is rejecting them. Rejecting their offer of help is a rejection of what they are genuinely offering to us. So let's accept someone's offer to go to the grocery store for us. They might not get the right stuff, but they're going to get some stuff. Let's accept the offer that they made to clean up. Now, they might not clean our way, but things will look better. Let's accept the offers, the relief that someone can give us from time to time. Our bodies, our minds, and our souls will thank us. There are 3 areas of self-care that involve all of us, whether we're caregivers or not. So this all matters to every person in this room right now. The areas of self-care are the areas of our lives. We are physical, mental, and spiritual creatures. So physically, we all need to sleep well. We need to eat well, and we need to get exercise. And specifically, if we're caring for another human being, we're in need of some decent sleep, some healthy food from time to time, and some occasional exercise. But the needs of our person often supersede our opportunity to get some sleep, or to get some food, or to get some exercise. Now, minimally, we need 5 hours of sleep a night. We need some decent food in our bodies every day, and we need about 30 minutes of exercise 5 days a week in order to be fairly healthy. So we got to figure out a way to get that sleep and that food and that exercise, or we're going to be worthless when we are trying to care for our person. Put on your own mask first. Mentally, we all need to take breaks We need to make connections. We need a break from our routine from time to time. That's why I took a couple of weeks away. We need to get away as in take a vacation, or we need to get away as in take a 15-minute walk. We need to make connections with other human beings every day. You need to have a connection with someone. Often just talking to another person who cares about us for 5 minutes will lift our energy and our spirit and help us to get through the rest of the day. When we deny ourselves breaks out of some disciplined thought that we have to push through by ourselves, and when we deny ourselves connections because we are strong enough to do this alone, we are keeping our best self from the person we're caring for. We're keeping our best self from ourselves. Put on your own mask first. There's a story in the Bible, in the book of Mark, where Jesus tells his disciples to go out in pairs to travel from town to town, helping people out. Teaching, casting out demons, all the things we do. And when they did go, they went and they gave care to others, and they were caregivers. And then they returned to Jesus to give an update of their travels. And this is what we read. The apostles came back to Jesus and reported all that they had done and taught. And Jesus said to them, "Come away by yourselves to some place more remote and rest a while." For there were many people coming and going, and the apostles hadn't had time to eat. So they went away in a boat to a deserted area. Jesus understood human nature. Jesus understood the need for breaks and for food and for rest. Spiritually, we all need opportunity to reflect, to pray, to meditate, and to connect with a higher power. The power of a higher power is that there is something bigger than you. That something that is bigger than you is there for your help. When we are overwhelmed, we should step away when we can, and we should ponder what is going on spiritually in our situation. We should ask ourselves this question: do I feel connected spiritually? Do I feel connected to any kind of higher power, something bigger than me? Can I find a higher power to help me through this situation? How can I find strength and hope? I feel so spent. Pray. Ask for help. It will come. There is a God who loves you and will never leave you. Trust that God. Draw untold strength from that source of love. Writer and civil rights activist Audre Lorde has written these powerful words. "I have come to believe that caring for myself is not self-indulgent. Caring for myself is an act of survival. Take care of yourself as if your life depended on it. Because, my friends, in many ways it does. Feed yourself spiritually, physically, mentally. Put on your own mask first." Amen. On the morning of my father's funeral, when my mother turned to me and asked, "What do I do now?" I replied, "Well, you do some things for yourself, Mom. I'll be here with you this week, and we're going to do some things that you've wanted to do. We are going to continue your daily walks. We are going to go play bingo. We're going to go out on that gambling boat that you've been talking about going out on. We're going to go shopping for some clothes that you need, and we are going to help you remember how to take care of yourself, Mom, because you matter too." And so to all of you who are caregivers, you matter too. You've given so much to your person. Thank you for your selfless compassion. You're allowed to care for yourself. In fact, I insist on it. Have a great Sunday and go in peace.